Hey, everyone, and welcome to the Sales Unscripted podcast. I am one of your hosts, Margaret Henney.
I'm Brian Neal.
And we are back for your listening pleasure. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you, Brian.
You didn't
sorry.
interrupt me at all. So,
you were like,
we were talking about EQ
Yes.
before we got on there, and Margaret said, Margaret's energy's a little off. But I'm like, you can't tell. No one can tell. Right?
I know, but I was like,
I can tell.
You can tell because you know me very well.
But I said I don't have a high EQ because I thought I did have a high EQ, and if you take a test, it will tell you it's like a blind spot thing. So I've got elements that are really strong of EQ. Then I've got some others that are not so much. So one of the low elements, you have, I guarantee you are super high. I'm like 0.
Okay.
One of the elements of high EQ is called social responsibility.
Oh, okay.
Go figure. Okay?
Yeah.
So you're right. Exactly. And it's all the things you would think. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It would be like something like, the paper flew off the table. I'm like, whatever. You're like, no, we have to go get it. We have to go pick it up. You like get up and chase it down.
Oh, that's so
that
funny.
Kind of thing.
Yeah,
that's
for sure.
Social responsibility.
Okay.
Or it says not to go in there. I'm like, I don't give a shit.
Yeah.
Like it's in the way. I'm gonna go. You know what I mean?
Wow. Okay.
That sort of thing.
I'm the kind of person
really
that if you're walking on the sidewalk and there's like sticks or something in the way, or freaking people are always leaving their scooters in the middle of the sidewalk.
Oh, right.
I'm moving that scooter. I'm gonna mutter while I do it, but I'm moving it.
Yeah, it doesn't matter to me at all.
Yeah.
Let it sit there.
Man, that makes
Let
me
the
mad.
next person trip over it.
Oh my God.
See, I just don't.
Okay, interesting.
What was I going to ask you? What does ivory tower mean? Do we talk?
Like if someone's in there,
I know what it means.
Oh, you're
I know what it
in
means.
ivory tower.
I know what that.
Well, I know. I had to think about it for a second.
Well, where
I
did
was
it come from? Does anyone know where ivory tower came from? Like, is it actually carved of ivory or some? Is it a biblical thing,
or
is it like
I don't
ancient,
think it's biblical. I
don't know.
just think ivory, like as in white, like pristine.
Is that what it is?
And
I just don't know. People say, sit up there in your ivory tower. I'm like, what does that even mean?
Wait, where is this coming from, by the way?
I don't know. I just had it in my notes.
Oh.
Just to ask you.
I
didn't
thought
know what
maybe it had to do with your EQ.
No, nothing to do with my
just
EQ.
wondering
But
about.
there is thing. It's funny. So we're going all over the place today.
gonna
We're
look this up.
unscripted.
Yeah,
we're
tell
ivory
me.
tower. Well,
Go.
we have on the video.
Yeah.
Do you see? Look at the video.
What?
Look at my shoulder. See
What?
the little dot? See the little dot by my neck?
Oh yeah, I see it.
I thought it was a thing on the screen.
Oh,
It's a mole.
You have a mole. That's
yeah, I've got
true.
lots of moles.
Well, I didn't know
I have lots
that.
of
I
moles.
thought it was on
But
the screen as
no,
well.
I did too. Did you think there was a dot on the screen?
Yeah.
And I'm like, oh my God, look, there's a dot on the screen. And then I moved and I'm like, oh wait, it's moving,
It's moving with me. It's
actually
attached.
a mole.
Oh my God.
Do your parents personalize things? Like, do they say things when people get older? They start to personalize things. Well, I don't want it to irritate my mole. They it's a possessive. Like, well,
mole.
Your dad and I got our walk in. It's like their walk. You know what I mean? Well, we're going to get our Arby's today. You know what I mean?
No, that's true.
if
It's
they
very
do.
collective.
Yes. And
now they are a unit.
It.
Yeah, totally. By the way, I'm not going to read this whole thing, but apparently it's
tower.
French, the ivory tower
Bonjour.
thing. Yeah. Originates from the French
French hate
phrase.
us. French hate us.
Or
Why do they
something,
hate us?
something. I don't know. They're
understand.
probably cooler than us.
Are they though?
Actually,
Actually, I love Paris.
Okay, you know what? I'm
We
not
are
going to read
unscripted
that.
today. What are we doing? Personal branding.
That's it. Thank
Found
you.
a topic. Thank
Okay.
you.
Thank you.
So funny. I was talking to this is our studio, my studio. I'm here all the time. See the little IU thing?
Yeah.
Over your shoulder there. And I was bouncing around in a class, and I said, this one woman has been there for a whole bunch of sessions. You know, I'm like, where are you from? She said I don't know where she lives. Iowa, I think. And she goes, but I went to school at Indiana. I'm like, you went to IU? She's like, yeah. I go,
She hasn't
see
mentioned-
this? She goes, no, I saw it.
But she didn't say anything?
No, exactly. I was like, so anyway, it's fine. Some
my
people,
God.
it's just not their thing. You know what I
Oh
mean?
my
It just
God.
doesn't-
I wouldn't
You'd
be
be
able
all
to
over,
stop
wouldn't you?
myself.
Do you know
I'd be
everything in the
like,
background means something?
Well, of
like
course it
everything.
does.
Like Double Cola, the
Yeah.
zebras.
I love
the
that.
Prince book,
see?
the Wine Folly, everything means
Hence
something
the
back there.
personal branding.
Right? Oh, look at that segue. So I love bringing up a marketing topic for the marketing chick. So we're going to talk about personal branding today, and I want you as the listener to find where you are on the the grid, so to speak, of the spectrum. I want you to think about what the next level of personal branding is for you, because I think people, to start with, and I love your take on this.
Yeah.
I think people think personal branding means that they have a big social media following, that they have thing. And what I argue is everyone has a personal brand.
Totally.
Period, case closed, end of story. Someone doesn't, they're not on Instagram, LinkedIn, whatever. Fred.
Yeah.
Your dad has a personal brand, right?
He totally
If I
does.
met people that know Fred,
Yes.
they would be like, oh, I'd say, what's Fred like? And they go, oh, he's awesome. He's funny. He's always got these dad jokes. They would,
Straight shooter.
Straight shooter.
Integrity.
Yeah, right.
Hard
Exactly
worker.
right.
Fred.
Yeah.
Like,
I love Fred. He gets that,
Yeah.
So everyone, you by your being have a personal brand.
Yeah.
Already. I promise you have a personal brand. Just ask your family and friends and your siblings, What do you like?
Oh.
Describe Margaret Henny to me. You know, what's your last name now?
It's still Henny.
Oh, you're staying there, right?
Yeah, I'm a
forgot
Henny.
about that. Congratulations.
Yeah, thank you.
Derek's cool with that, I'm sure. Right?
Oh yeah,
Got
no, he's
choice?
great with it.
That's good.
Yeah. No, that's
I wanted
a
to
good.
switch to my wife's maiden name.
Well, it's
I
your
hate
maiden
my
name.
last name. Summers. Stephanie Summers. Isn't that great?
Summers is great. Wait,
It's
what's
fantastic.
wrong with Neil?
Oh, it's awful. It's nasally. It's a double first name.
Come on.
It's awful.
No.
Neil, it's so boring.
Well, that's-
And you know what else? Everyone's named Brian. It's the biggest grandpa
Okay,
name.
that's actually true.
It's awful.
Everyone
like
is
all
named
of my
Brian.
daughter's friends' dad's names are Brian. It's like, God.
That's so funny. I
Anyway,
feel like okay.
I want a
alright.
cool name. Go ahead.
I feel like okay, so I wanted to like double tap on what you said about people thinking like
Yeah.
your personal brand is like social media or like some kind of catchphrase,
Totally.
or like something very like tactile.
The man with the plan.
Did you see how I brought that back?
Yeah, I got you. That's from last.
That's from last episode.
session.
Thank you.
Still in the
but you're
tactical
right.
sweater. This is where.
Shut up.
Gosh,
Tactical.
Why are you wearing that today? Well, I really had to figure some
tactical.
things out. I'm trying to really buckle down and
It's
figure
got
out where I'm
lots of
going.
Buttons and pockets.
I put this
and
on. I put
loops.
this tactical shirt on.
They don't even know what we're talking about. It's from last episode. We got to keep going.
Every time Margaret wears this shirt, she always knows what to do next.
So tactical.
Every time I wear this shirt, man, I get it. I dig into the details.
Stop.
And get it all done.
We've lost the plot.
Okay, sorry.
I'm sorry. Okay, personal brand.
That's a callback from last week.
Our
Go ahead.
personal brand is
Oh, we can't.
unscripted. It's fucking unscripted, is what
Podcast
it is,
ADD.
dude.
Go ahead.
But okay, I am curious to hear why
Okay.
personal brand is important for a salesperson.
Okay.
I mean,
Love
okay,
it.
obviously coming from like a marketing perspective, but like, why is your personal brand something that matters, even if you don't have a huge social media presence or like whatever? Like, what does that help them do?
That's great. I'll start like with the core. So we call them at Blind Zebra, we call them guiding principles. So one of our guiding principles is authenticity. So the first thing is, I think we're in a good mode, like in the world, that people are just more authentic than they ever were, I think.
Yep.
And still, I see salespeople turning on their salesperson voice.
Totally.
Tech bro,
Yeah.
finance bro.
Yes.
So if you look at tech bro, finance bro, TikTok, Instagram, those are
Totally.
two real things.
Yes.
That right. Everyone turns on. They say corporate baloney. They use words they don't normally use.
Totally.
That's all. That's part of a brand, and I think I'd rather you personally get real with your own who you are.
Exactly.
And if you don't talk that way, don't talk that way.
Yeah.
And so that's the first thing. It gets you centered to your authentic self.
Mm-hmm.
That's really important because I think that's above all else the most important. Like, this is who I am.
Totally, because here's the thing.
Period.
I feel very, very strongly that people can sniff that out
Oh,
quick.
God. Yes.
You know what I mean? And in sales, it's so much about trust. Do I
Yeah.
trust the opinion of person? Do I trust the advice of this person?
Mm.
Are they in it with me? Are they collaborating with me?
Yeah.
And if someone is being inauthentic, even if it's for their own reasons, like whatever that might be, you're like, who is this person about? Like, what are they about? And so
Yeah.
making sure that you are like aligned and living within your own alignment and values is going to come through.
Has to.
Yeah.
Can't not. It's awesome. Then you don't have to try anymore. Once that's there, then you're good.
Yes.
So if you are not someone who's spontaneous,
Yeah.
don't start a podcast called Sales Unscripted. If you are spontaneous, let's go.
Let's let it
we're all
rip,
about
baby.
it. See, this is very on our
Yeah.
personal brands. It's how
Totally.
we are. We literally talked about this topic for 8 seconds, like a bull ride.
Exactly.
Right?
Let's
It's done.
go.
So that's the first thing, authenticity. The next thing then, I think, is that gives you some direction on how you're going to work and manage a sales process.
Oh, yeah.
For example, we're like this. So you and I love theater, performing, microphones,
Yes.
video. So in our sales process, we're going to come through using those sorts of things.
100%.
Someone else might be analytical, thoughtful,
Yeah.
different. And so let them be that way. Don't make one of us be the other way.
Yeah.
And so you stay true to your brand that way. And then, so if you are someone that doesn't like to do these sorts of things, then don't start a podcast. But if you do like to analyze and talk about, detailed white papers, then do that, because then you're going to be true.
Wait,
true
I
to yourself.
got
Yeah.
a curveball question for
Uh-oh.
you.
Let's
This
go.
is like
Bring
kind
it.
of weird. So if we're
All right.
talking about personal brand and what people are like, and one of the other things that this makes me think of is so being authentic and aligned, but also needing to sell to other personalities.
Oh, that's good.
So, like, what do you think about someone matching up
I love
salespeople?
this topic.
Matching up salespeople with a lead or a prospect or whatever that you think you guys are aligned, you think similarly, this is the speed, or does it have to be more, okay, as salespeople, we got to be a little bit more chameleon and be able to switch it up?
That's really good. I'm gonna say both and.
Okay,
Here's
great.
why. So, and that's not like a cop out. So what? There's you heard of the psychological term mirroring?
Yes. Yeah.
Oh,
Totally.
by the way, sidebar. Did you know that the way to tell if someone's from the Midwest is to ask them to pronounce the word mirror?
Mirror.
Because everyone in the Midwest, we think that's right. It's mirror.
No, I say like Rick Mears, like Rick Mears,
Right,
you know, the
mirrors.
driver, like
Everyone just said,
M-E-E-R.
Like you
Mirror.
better go look in the mirror, man. You got something, literally. And if you're from the Midwest,
Do
that
they
sounds.
say-
They say you need to go look in the mirror.
Never.
100%. Never noticed that, did you?
Never.
I saw that. This woman said, Midwest people don't think they have an accent that's distinguishable. She goes, it's very easy to tell someone from the Midwest, ask them to say the name of this and then hold up a mirror. And they'll go, that's a mirror.
Mirror.
They'll go, no, it's a mirror.
Yep.
Anyone from the Midwest says mirror. We do, don't we?
So
Sorry,
true.
it's so funny, isn't it?
I love it. I
Yeah,
love it.
go look at yourself in the mirror.
So we're
'Cause
mirroring.
It does. We are. We're mirroring. And we are,
Mirroring.
because that's what we are. Or for you East Coasters, we're mirroring.
Mirroring.
That's really hard to
I
say.
don't
Our
like
way's
it.
way better.
Blah.
Mirroring.
Too much.
So that to me, here's the intention behind that is flawed.
Yeah.
Right? So mirror is like you lean in, you grab your chin, I grab my chin. I lean in. Like it's all fake to
Yeah,
me.
yeah, yeah.
Now so mirroring is bad intent.
Okay.
I think acknowledging and adapting is okay. So
Okay.
if your energy's a little low today, I'm going to recognize that mostly out of empathy for you. And I'd be like, let's fucking go, Margaret. Come on, shake it off.
And I'm like-
Because you're like, oh my God, no. It'll drive you away.
Yeah.
So I'm going to match energy to a point, but I'm never going to give up my stripes.
Yeah.
on my
yeah.
tactical shirt.
Oh, that's stripes on personal brand, zebra.
Oh, I was going with the tactical shirt. Either way,
See, that's crazy.
we
okay.
wear vertical stripes for slimming
okay,
effect.
Okay.
We do. It's true. So I'm a fan of adapting. You know?
Okay, okay.
I'm not a fan of changing. And I believe there's a little spectrum. That's why it's you can do both of those things.
Okay.
And no doubt, if there's someone in the sales process, but other Gong stats that I just love Gong stats.
Yeah.
What they would call multi-threading. So that just means 2 or more people on the sales side in the process. So instead of you trying to close the dealership by yourself,
Okay.
you bring someone else in.
Okay.
That would be a time to match someone. So I'm a visionary. My wife Stephanie's an integrator. So we're selling together. I'm going to match up to the visionary. She would match up to the integrator. The visionary is kind of big picture. So we're actually talking to a group where I'm supposed to meet the visionary. They're like, we want to get you and this guy together.
Okay.
we
So you
want
guys can be dreamers together.
Exactly. Yeah. But
I
we
get
have
it.
to have the other two talk too. So that's the matching. It has less to do about personal brand, more to do about that skill thing and just how they are, what they're really good at, their unique ability.
Okay.
But I think it goes along with it, though.
It's your yin and your yang,
it is, totally.
baby.
But it's
Okay.
still true.
Okay.
So Steph's not trying to be visionary because she's not. And I'm not trying to sit here and go, yeah, I've got all the details figured out. It's like,
Right.
da-da-da. It's not that. Both.
Okay. I like that. That's really
good.
helpful.
Yeah.
Because I can see like making that decision and being like, okay, let's see, you've got
great-
these big opportunities and your sales manager, director, whatever is like, hey, I know who this is and what they're like. And I think that matches Dustin or,
Yes.
I think this matches Elizabeth. And that makes sense. And also that's not going to happen every time, right? So we do
Yes.
have to have some level of adaptability and we're not one way all the time either. So even if you match people up thinking they're exactly alike,
Yes.
good days and bad days,
Yes.
different scenarios, you're not always going to be able to
Yes.
be on exactly the same wavelength.
And you may not want them to be.
Yeah, totally.
Right? Because when our instructional designer, her name is Sarah, and I would consider her a dear friend and a great business partner. On the DISC profile, do you know what the DISC profile
yeah,
is?
totally.
Like the C stands for compliance.
Yeah.
She's 100, I'm 0.
Yeah, yeah,
When
that
we first met,
checks
started
out.
working together, disaster.
I bet.
And then once we figured it out, it is awesome.
Cool.
It's so good, and we're total opposites that way.
Yeah.
It's really, really good.
I like that.
What about? So let's talk about the more like
branding part of
branding
it.
part, like the part that people do see. So I'd love to get your take on all things social, specifically LinkedIn,
Okay, yep.
on what salespeople listening to this who may be fearful of putting themselves out there, want to stay pure to their personal brand, what should they be doing? A couple little tips.
Okay, yes.
First things
so
first
of all,
LinkedIn first. Yeah.
this is a great thing for multiple reasons. I think the best thing that having this personal brand and you're posting on LinkedIn for is actually for you to get clear on your own thoughts and stances.
Wow. Bravo.
So like certainly other people are going to be picking that up and being like, oh wow, that was a really good tidbit from Brian, or like he really knows his stuff. He's thinking about this part of the business or whatever all the time. Like it's kind of that what do we call it? Expert persona.
Oh yeah. Good. You got it.
I got it.
That's what we call it. Yeah.
But it's serving two purposes, because it's also allowing you space to be reflective and think about a topic or news or whatever it is that you are interested in and that speaks to you. Post about that, include a little bit of your thoughts. You don't have to write an essay, right?
Yes.
Like we're not doing a white paper.
Yes.
We hate white papers,
Right.
right? We talked about this last time. But just like a little bit of your ditties. So, and it doesn't have to just be like completely brand new. It's also commenting on things. It's reposting things with maybe a little bit of your own thoughts, or like, wow, really great takeaways here. Really especially loved number 3. So just getting in the habit of that helps you get clarity on what you believe, what's important to you, and then sharing that with other people. And that's all part of your brand.
That's fantastic.
Thanks.
That makes it easy then, doesn't it? Because when you go down the path of this is what I'm interested in and this is the way I'm interested in it, meaning I love to watch a video, or I love to make a comment or read a thing.
Yeah.
As long as it's real, just that's easy. If I told you like you've got to do a podcast, and you're like, oh, I hate podcasts, whatever, then that's not your thing.
Don't do it. Follow
love
your
it.
natural curiosity too, right?
That's it.
Like,
Good job.
Don't force it.
Follow your natural curiosity. I love that. You said another word, and I tried to thumbs up, but I was on the wrong side. You used the word habit.
Oh, yeah.
And that's one of the things that people don't have, is they don't have a LinkedIn habit. And what's sad about that to me is most people that don't have a LinkedIn habit do have an Instagram or Facebook or TikTok
100%.
habit.
100%.
You know, you're all listening. You're like, oh my God, they got me. They
Absolutely
got me.
true.
So a little tip that I give people is I say, from now on, now that you listen to the Sales Unscripted podcast with Brian and Margaret, from now on, your little social media habit is linked and tethered to LinkedIn.
Ooh.
Every time
Wait, linked and tethered to
LinkedIn.
Oh.
So if you have an Instagram, TikTok, Snapchat, or Facebook habit, which means you're on there at least once a day, which all of you listening are.
For sure.
Some of you are on multiple hours.
Yep.
The rule is, from now on, since you listen to us, every time I go to Facebook, I have to also spend equal time on LinkedIn for the rest of your life.
Yeah.
You'd be like, oh my God, I'm on
committed.
Facebook all the time. Scroll.
Yeah.
Prayers, please. Like, why do people do that?
Stop.
It's the worst. We gotta have fun doing that. So, but you need to create a LinkedIn habit.
I like
I'm
that.
telling you, it's getting better and better, and that's a place to go and learn and what you're interested in. It's really good.
Yep. Love it. Personal brand.
I have one more thing
Oh,
I
tell
want
me.
to say about personal branding, and it was what? Tell me what it was.
Go. I was like, yes. Was it something about your tour?
My tour.
Because that's something that, because you said that you're feeling very
Oh,
inspired.
yeah, a little bit, yeah. Well, I was with a group who, you've ever been around people that you assume would have a strong LinkedIn game that don't?
Yes.
Yeah, I was around some people like that. I'm like, these people are awesome. Like, the LinkedIn game isn't strong. We got some growth area here. That's a thing. Oh, I know what it was. Found it.
I knew we'd get there. Let's go.
I want to give this. So this is outside of social media, still in the personal branding idea, and this is a little challenge I want to pose to our listeners. I want you to think about becoming famous in your territory.
Ooh,
Be famous in your territory.
Yeah.
So what does that mean? That doesn't mean you've got all the answers, but you're known.
Yep.
So if I go to Monticello, Indiana, everyone knows Fred.
Yes.
Fair?
Yes, that's
They were either his doctor or whatever. He's got but he's famous in the territory. He's famous in the market.
Yeah.
For a thing. He's not famous for selling used cars. He's not famous for being a banker. He's not famous for
He's in his lane.
Records at the high school. He's
in his
famous
lane.
for being a doctor and a small town doctor, loyal guy.
Yep.
Right?
Yep.
So you can be famous in a market without doing any social media, just by being a good connector of others. So that's part of the personal brand, is to be someone who's in and around things a lot. So think about going to association events. The other thing to think about, I call this hub selling.
Oh.
I'm the hub of the wheel.
Okay.
And I'm the inviter of the thing. So this is what we're doing on the road show.
Oh,
so we're saying, hey, I'm going to be in Denver Who wants to meet up? Then the people come to us. We're the inviter, right? It's great. And then we become famous in Denver, even though we live in Indianapolis.
Yeah.
Because we were the one that brought, everyone's like, how did everyone get together here?
Yeah.
Brian and Margaret?
Yeah.
Or
Yeah.
just Brian? Oh,
Damn it.
that's okay.
Great callback, though.
Sorry, like that. So that's a thing that anyone can do. I gave this idea to a guy in Charlotte years ago. He had started a branch of one of my clients. And I said, why don't we start a little peer group of people that sell in the logistics business? You go find a people that does lift trucks, and tires, and insurance, or whatever. He did this, and they formed this little group. They started meeting once a month. I gave him kind of an agenda to follow.
That's so
Thing
smart.
is awesome. There's
That's
like 14
so
of them. Isn't it
freaking
awesome?
smart.
And you're non-competitive, but you call them about the same thing. And then what they started to do, even more brilliant, they would invite, and it's all clean here, they would invite their prospects. So if they all call on the CFO or something like, hey, would you come and talk to us about like financial leasing in warehousing or something?
Oh my God,
Isn't that
you are
awesome?
blowing my mind. This
That's
is genius.
hub selling.
It's
Yeah.
a little bit like, okay, I always bring it back
Go
to
ahead.
automotive, but
It
automotive
is.
people
It's like a
have
20 group.
groups.
It's like a 20 group.
And they are dealerships around the country that probably have like maybe a similar OEM or whatever,
Yep.
but they're not competitive. They get
Correct.
together, they share all of their ideas,
Yes.
and like it is a wealth of knowledge.
Yes.
I mean, we could do that with
So
other
you
people.
should, well, you should have, so COVID, you should have a 20 group. You start it.
Yes.
Here's the challenge. Margaret's going to do this. You start the 20 group, and the 20 group includes
Yes.
a CRM. Go
Yes.
get, you know,
Like Drive
especially now,
Centric.
right? A Drive Centric or a
Vint Solutions.
I was trying not to say CDK. Whoopsie daisy. I know
we'll
it's
talk
the
about that
worst.
later.
The
Oh my
worst.
God, it's
right,
so
but
bad.
that an F&I tool person.
Yes.
Someone that does floor plan financing.
Yes.
And you guys get together once, and it's not lead swapping.
No.
It's genuine idea sharing, trend stuff, and then invite dealer group principals to that meeting. You guys become famous in your industry.
I
See
think that is
You can do
genius.
that.
And we
That's
can
hub
learn
selling.
so much from each other
Totally.
too, because we're trying to be
So good.
experts in the space about
good.
what's going on for them.
Yes,
Wow.
this is not a lead sharing deal.
No, no,
Do
no,
not-
no,
this-
no.
Because everybody hears that like, oh, it's like BNI. I'm like, no,
No.
it's not BNI.
Yeah.
It's geared around knowledge and connection and learning. That's the core of it.
Yep.
And then the other stuff will take care of itself.
Totally.
The lead sharing and introductions, that will happen naturally. You like that?
Oh,
Mic
personal
dropping?
brand gold.
Done right
there.
there. See, and then you're famous. Like, how'd this whole thing start? Margaret started this.
Yeah.
How did these 20? And you could stamp them out across the country.
Oh my
With
gosh.
different AEs from those different companies. And there
I
could be one in Denver.
love
And there
it.
could be one in Chicago. You're welcome.
I love
you
it.
like that, don't
Dude,
you?
thank
Fun
you.
stuff. You're
Yes.
welcome.
Well
See?
done.
Okay, so I'll see you guys in Denver. And sorry, I'll stop. Last time I'm going to say that, I promise.
Okay, thank you.
And
I'll see you guys when I'm back from London.
Oh, yeah. You had to throw that in there, didn't you?
Bye.
I'll be in London.
Suckers.
Cheers.
No.
Bye. Let's see you.